Hi everyone! Welcome back to the VSDC channel. In today's video, we will show you how to quickly split a video and cut out unwanted fragments using the free version of VSDC Video Editor. Let's get started. Alright, let's launch VSDC and create a new project. You can choose a file in the File Explorer, drag it onto the scene, and drop the mouse button. Now you might notice that the beginning of our video looks a bit empty, right? No worries, we are going to remove that beginning part. The question is, where do we make a split? Let's figure it out together. Selecting a splitting point. You might think selecting the right point to split your video is as easy as watching the video and stopping at the right moment. Sure, you can do that and fine-tune your split with a few clicks of the mouse, but there is a more convenient way to do this. Right above the timeline, you will find buttons for moving frame by frame or second by second. But why click when you can use keyboard shortcuts? Just press the left or right arrow keys to move one frame at a time. Need to jump a whole second? Hold down the Ctrl key while pressing the arrows. These shortcuts are handy for selecting that perfect splitting point. Method 1. Split into parts. Let's begin with the first method, the Split into Parts tool. This tool is a straightforward way to split your video into two segments. You can find it either above the timeline or in the ribbon in the Editor tab. Here's what you do. Select your video, click on the Split into Parts icon, and your video will be split into two segments. Next, select the part you don't need and press the Delete key. If you need to restore the deleted area at the beginning, simply hold down the Shift key and drag the edge of the trimmed video to the previous duration. For those who prefer keyboard shortcuts, the hotkey for this is Ctrl K. Feel like changing it up? You can easily customize this hotkey to whatever feels right for you. If you need a little guide on setting up hotkeys, check out the link in the top corner of the screen or in the video description below. Method 2. Splitting by markers. You can also split the file in multiple places at once. It works only with one file selected. So select it, navigate to the Properties window, and look for the Cutting and Splitting button, or find it in the ribbon on the Editor tab. Now, the Cutting and Splitting window appears where you can set markers for splitting your video exactly where you want. Let's try an example and move the blue playhead to the 2-second mark. Feel free to use those arrow keys for precision. Then press the Add Marker button. As a result, a red marker will be added just at the cursor position, splitting your video into two parts. Now, highlight the area from 3 to 4 seconds by holding down the left mouse button and then click Add Marker again. Two red markers will appear, one at the beginning and one at the end of your selected area. You can delete any marker by selecting it in the right window and clicking the Delete button, or by using the Delete Marker button in the top left corner. These markers show where the video will be split. Once you hit Apply Changes, a dialog box will appear for you to choose file splitting parameters. By default, it is set to split the file using the set of markers. Another option is to place separate parts of the file into a sprite, so your video will end up in a sprite. The Remove the Source Object option applies the changes to the currently selected file. If you uncheck this, a duplicate video will be created on a higher layer. Your video is now split into several files at the selected points, ready for you to work with separately. How to trim a video file or cut out an unwanted fragment. Method 1. Working with the edge of the video. If you need to trim off the beginning of your file, you can do this by simply dragging the edge of the video. This effectively trims it. But here's a point. Make sure to hold down the Shift key while doing this. If you drag without holding Shift, you are just moving the video edge but keeping the initial frame intact. If you need to trim off the end of your file, you don't need to hold the Shift button. Trimming will be performed automatically whenever you drag the edge. Method 2. Object Properties. This method is similar to the first one, but there you can trim your video with a precise second and a frame. Plus, in the Properties window, you can fine-tune any cuts you've made before. All the changes you made earlier, like trimming the start of the video, will show up here too. So here's what you do. Select your video and go to the Properties window. Find Video Object Settings and open the Duration menu. Here you can enter the time code from which the video will be trimmed from both the start and the end. This method is handy when you have exact time codes and need to trim your video files quickly. It's also great when you need to tweak a trimmed video by, say, 1 second for precision editing. One thing to note: if you trim from the end, the video will be cut, but the timeline object remains the same length as before. A red marker will appear indicating the new end of your video, and you will see a freeze frame after it. But you can change what is shown after this marker. Just head over to the Video Properties and choose the Loop Mode option. This controls what is shown after that red marker. The default is to show last frame and the end of the video, but you can also choose to hide it, loop the video, where it starts playing again from the beginning after the marker, or use the Play Entire Video function. This adjusts the video speed and fits the video length up to the red marker into the total duration of the video element on the timeline. In our case, the video slowed down to match the longer duration. And if none of these options work for you, just drag the right edge to the red marker and your video will end there. Method 3. Trim Start, End. This might be the best method when you just need to quickly cut out the beginning or the end of your footage. You'll find this tool in the drop-down menu of the scissors icon. There are 2 buttons available, one for cutting off the beginning and the other for the end. And there is even a faster way with hotkeys. Just use Ctrl, Shift and left bracket or right bracket to swiftly trim your files. Here's how it works. Select your file, choose where you want to cut it, and then either trim the beginning or the end. Now, if you do it like this, you might end up with a lot of empty gaps on your timeline. But don't worry, there is an easy fix for that. Just select all your video clips on the timeline and hit the Set Blocks Order button. This will clean up your timeline in a snap. And just like that, with one click, all the gaps between your video clips will disappear. Method 4. Cutting out fragment. This tool is perfect for removing unwanted sections of your video. But first, we need to set the work area. The work area is located on the timeline just above your footage. First, select the object, place the cursor where you need it, and hit the End Work Area button. Now, if you press the Cut Out Fragment button, everything under this gray frame will be deleted. You can adjust the frame by dragging its edges with the left mouse button on the timeline or by using the Start and Work Area buttons at the cursor's position. This is just like making 2 cuts with the splitting tool, removing the middle part and then moving the right part. One button does all these steps for you. If you need to restore the deleted section, you can move the video to different layers and put the edges while holding down the Shift key, which will return your video into its original length. And now about the second mode for the Cutout Fragment tool. Open the drop-down menu and select Cutout Content. The cutout part will be indicated by a dark red marker. It might seem like it does the same thing as before, but there's a twist. In this mode, the video isn't deleted, it's just hidden. So there are no actual cuts happening. After this operation, we still have one single file, not two separate ones. This way, you can apply effects to this one entire file, rather than managing a bunch of different files like in the previous method. Plus, in this mode, you can restore the cut sections but in a different way. After you cut the content, double-click on the dark red marker and you can quickly bring back that hidden part. Just be careful not to confuse this dark red marker with the red triangle that indicates the end of the fragment. Method 5. Cutting and splitting. Alright, moving on to Method 5, Cutting and Splitting. To access this, again select your file and choose Cutting and Splitting either in the Properties or in the ribbon. We used this window earlier when working with markers for splitting the video into parts. Here you can do everything you did on the timeline. Cut out unwanted sections, restore them, and more. Plus, there is a waveform display for better visualization. To cut out a part of the video, select the area on the timeline with the mouse and click the Cut Region button. A red marker in the form of a triangle appears, indicating that an area has been cut out in this place. To restore it, select the timecode on the right and then click Restore Region. But be careful not to confuse the triangular marker with the flag marker for splitting, they are different. After completing all your edits, apply the changes. A pop-up window will appear again, asking whether to trim the video to the new duration. If you choose yes, the video will be shortened to this new length. If no, the file's duration on the timeline will remain the same, but a red marker will be added to the timeline to show where the video actually ends. Editing on the export stage. Splitting into parts. Sometimes you may need to split a video into multiple parts after all the effects have been applied to the entire file to get separate video clips. Here's how. Go to the Export Project tab and click on Set Markers. A familiar window will appear. Here you can set markers at the spots you want, but unlike before, you're working with the entire project, not just one file. By setting markers, you divide the video into separate videos. For example, let's set 3 markers and apply the changes. Now, to make sure that the markers do the splitting, go to the settings at the bottom under the Additional Settings tab and check Split Files by Markers. After exporting, you'll get videos split at the markers points. Cutting out unwanted fragments. You can also remove unwanted sections from your project in this window. Go back to the Export Project tab and click Set Markers again. Let's say you want to export only a part of your project. Select the fragment you want to remove and click Cut Region. Now you've set the new boundaries for your video, excluding parts of the beginning and the end. Like before, you can restore sections by clicking the Restore Region button or double-clicking on the marker. After all your edits, apply the changes. Remember, the program will remind you that the changes will only be visible after exporting. This means you will still see the whole project in the preview, but only the uncut areas will be exported. And that's it for today. Now you have an idea of how to cut and split in VSDC Free Video Editor. If you have any questions about using these tools, drop them in the comments. And if you found this tutorial helpful, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more video editing tips and tricks. See you next time!